I guarantee you're looking at the bosses in Elden Ring incorrectly. You see roadblocks? I see walking, talking, world-destroying sins. These so-called legends are pathetic, broken, and defined by the very flaws that shattered the world. We're going biblical. Today, we take the 7 deadly sins and assign each one to the Elden Ring boss that embodies it. This isn't a list. It's an investigation into how each of their personal failings became a blueprint for the ruin of the lands between. We're gonna expose the truth, starting with the sin that poisoned the entire bloodline. Pride is the sin that started it all. It's an ego so immense and so fragile that it leads to utter ruin. There is no greater, more pathetic, more perfect example of the sin in the entire game than Godrick the Grafted. Godrick is a distant relative of his golden lineage, which means he's related to legends like Godfrey, a fact that he never lets anyone forget. The problem is, he's a weakling, what Kenneth Haidt calls the runt of the litter. He possesses an immense pride in his family name, with none of the strength to back it up. His solution? He has his servants chop off limbs of stronger people and stitch them onto his own body. His dialogue is a storm of prideful nonsense. I am the lord of all that is golden, he yells, constantly begging his forefathers to bear witness to a greatness he does not possess. He's a fraud with so much pride that he's completely blind to his own act. His fight mirrors his pathetic nature. In phase 1, he's clunky. All those extra arms make him look intimidating, but he swings them around like a drunken octopus. When you beat him down, his pride goes into overdrive. He chops off his own arm and shoves the stump into the neck of a dead dragon, grafting its head onto his own body. His pride is so wounded that he would rather mutilate himself and become a greater monster than admit defeat. He's the perfect first shard bearer, because he teaches the most important lesson of the lands in between. The people in charge are broken. Godrick's pathetic pride was a hunger for status. Our next sinner was possessed by a hunger far more literal and cosmic, a hunger that consumes not just limbs, but gods. This isn't just being hungry for food and being fine once you eat something. It's an all-consuming hunger that never stops. Our poster child for this sin is the last of the fire giants. The fire giants were a society that worshipped a fell god. This god had one personality trait. It was ravenous. It wanted to consume the Erd Tree. Queen Marika and the Golden Order naturally didn't want that, so they declared war and committed giant genocide. But the one we fight received a special punishment. Marika cursed him to live forever, guarding the flame of his own hungry god. He's a prisoner forced to babysit the very thing that got his entire race killed. It gets worse. The gluttony is not just in his lore, it's in every part of his body. When you finally get him on the ropes, he does something absolutely disgusting. He rips off his own foot, and a giant grotesque mouth opens on his stomach, the face of the hungry fell god. Gluttony has consumed him from the inside out. He's no longer a guardian. He is the hunger. His second phase is a testament to this. He rolls around spewing fire. It's disgusting, it's excessive, and it's the perfect picture of gluttony. The fire giant's hunger was a curse, a mindless consumption he was forced to endure. But what happens when that consumption becomes a choice? When it becomes a calculated, all-consuming lust for power, you get the sin of greed. Greed is a lust for power so intense, you would do anything to get more of it. In this, nobody holds a candle to the Lord of the Volcano Manor, Rykard. Rykard was a demigod, but the power he had wasn't enough. He looked at the Golden Order and thought he could be greater. His solution? He found a giant god-eating snake and let it consume him. It was a hostile takeover. He established the Volcano Manor as a trap, promising champions power, only to feed them to the snake. He was collecting heroes like they were playing cards, all in the name of his greedy quest to one day be strong enough to devour other gods. When you finally face him, his face melted and mixed with the snake scales. It's pure nightmare fuel. His first words, "Now we can devour the gods together." He's no longer a man. He's a slave to the idea of power itself, and he will devour anyone to serve his cruel master. But his gameplay becomes even greedier. He swings the blasphemous blade, a sword made from the screaming, tortured bodies of the people he's eaten. It's pure, uncut greed. Not all sins are monstrous outward ambitions. Some are quiet poisons that rot from within, born from loss and festering in memory. This brings us to the most tragic of sins, envy. This is the deep, bitter feeling you get when you see another person's happiness, and it consumes you. Sometimes the person you're most envious of is the person you used to be. That's the entire story of Rennala. Rennala had it all, a legendary sorceress, a queen, married to Radahn. Then he left her, packing his bags to become Elden Lord with Marika. This destroyed her. The mighty queen became a ghost in her own library, envious of the happy, powerful woman she once was. Her boss fight might be the most genius piece of storytelling in the game. You walk in, and she doesn't fight you. She floats in a bubble, cradling an amber egg, trying to rebirth her students into perfect children who won't abandon her. She's desperately trying to recreate the perfection she once lost, and she's failing over and over again. When you pop her bubble, you're transported to a different world. You're fighting the memory of the powerful queen she wishes she still was. This Rennala is confident, slinging powerful moon spells, summoning giants. This is Rennala's highlight reel, and when you defeat the illusion, you're zapped back to the library with the real, broken Rennala on the floor. You've shattered her beautiful, envious fantasy. It's heartbreaking, and it's brilliant. Rennala was trapped by the memory of a life she lost. But what happens when a hero doesn't just lose something, but loses everything? His purpose, his mind, his very reason for being. This leads from the sorrow of envy to the utter despair of sloth. This isn't just laziness. Deadly sin level sloth is despair. It's giving up so completely that you abandon your duty. The most tragic case of a hero who's completely clocked out is General Radahn. Understand, Radahn used to be a certified badass. His most important job was holding the stars with his gravity magic, preventing cosmic horror from crashing down. This man's job was quite literally holding the stars themselves up. He was the antithesis of sloth. Then he fought Malenia. The duel ended in a draw when she went nuclear and unleashed the Scarlet Rot. It didn't kill Radahn. It did something far worse. It completely scrambled his brain. The Radahn we meet is a ghost. He wanders his personal beach, mindlessly eating the corpses of his own men. This is a definition of slothful despair. He's completely abandoned his duty because his mind is gone. The Radahn festival is a violent intervention to grant him a warrior's death. His famous meteor move is one last spectacular flash of the demigod he used to be, before he becomes crashing back down to his sad, miserable reality. We're there to end the suffering of a hero trapped in the sin of sloth. While Radahn's fall was a tragedy, our next sinner's depravity is a choice. This is the possessive, obsessive sickness of lust. This subject is difficult. Mohg is a creep, so much so that he probably spent a lot of time on a certain island. His brand of lust isn't desire. It's a possessive dynasty-building sickness, and it's profoundly messed up. Mohg was an omen, thrown into the sewers. There he met an outer god, the formless mother, who's all about blood and wombs. She promised him he could be a king, but every king needs a queen. Mohg, in his infinite lust, decided it would be Mikola, Malenia's twin brother, who was cursed to be a child forever. Mohg kidnapped a comatose child and brought him to his murder palace, intending to force him to become a god and then to marry him, to start the Mohgwyn dynasty. His lust for power, for legacy, all filtered through this horrifying predatory obsession. His signature move is the blood curse. With each chant, he sucks the life from you to heal himself. It's a violation. He isn't just killing you, he's using your life force to power his own twisted ambitions. The power is drenched in gross, obsessive lust. He isn't a boss, he's an offender that takes everything. Mohg's lust sought to build a corrupt dynasty in the shadows. Our final sinner needs no dynasty. Her sin isn't building something new. It's destroying everything that stands in her way. It's the final, most devastating sin of all, wrath. Pure, uncut, burn the world down rage. This is the sin of anger that lost all control, that seeks only to destroy. No one has a wrath so complete, so devastating, and so terrifying as Malenia. Malenia's identity is a contradiction. She's the loyal protector of her brother, but she's also cursed with the Scarlet Rod, a god of decay living inside her that she must constantly fight for control. Her pride is an undefeated warrior, and her wrath are the same thing. Challenge her and that control slips. We saw it with Radahn. She couldn't beat him, so she let her wrath take over. She bloomed, unleashing the rot in an explosion that turned Caelid into a cancerous hellscape. Her wrath was so bad that it had geographical consequences. Her waterfowl dance isn't a skill. It's pure, unrestrained rage given form, an expression of wrath with her katana. It is her saying, "How dare you still be standing?" And when you finally deal her the first true defeat of her life, she gives up all pretense of control. She fully embraces becoming the goddess of decay. Her wrath is now a divine power. Her attacks are not designed to kill you, but to infect you with the same curse she's carried her whole life. This is the ultimate form of wrath. Rage so powerful it doesn't just want to hurt you. It wants to turn you into a reflection of its own pain. So there you have it. Pride, gluttony, greed, envy, sloth, lust, and wrath. These are not abstract ideas in the lands between. They're the 7 pillars of its destruction. The demigods with all their power weren't brought down by divine conflict. They were brought down by their own pathetic, deeply human failings. And perhaps that's the real story. These 7 sins aren't random flaws. They're the inevitable outcome of the Golden Order, a system built on such an impossible standard of perfection that its children were doomed from the start. They were destined to shatter into these perfect, monstrous reflections of sin. The demigods didn't destroy the world. They were simply the weapons that were used to destroy itself. But that's my take. The beauty of these games is interpretation. Now I want to hear yours. Am I wrong about Radahn? Is there a better boss for greed? Go nuts in the comments. And let's start a debate. If you enjoyed this descent into demigod madness, drop a like and subscribe for more. And go ahead and click the video on screen to see the most hated bosses in Elden Ring. And until next time, I'll see you through the fog.